What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning. You are watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. It is Sunday, fun day. It's January 12th, 2025. And guess where I'm standing? Yeah, Schiphol Airport, obviously. But what do you see? It's a military airplane, exactly. Landed yesterday at the center runway, just after I was done streaming, and apparently it is parked over there. Very good morning to everybody who has joined. It is a day at the Kaagbaan today, which is being used for arrivals and is expected to be in use for arrivals in the upcoming hours. The weather is cloudy. Every now and then a little bit of rain is falling. Just now a few droplets fell. Right now it is dry once again. Won't amount to anything substantial. And at the moment Kaagbaan is the only runway in use as runway 06 for arrivals, and EasyJet is the first airplane to arrive. Arriving from Liverpool, it's an A320neo. Brand new, started flying in September last year, so just a couple of months old still. Very good morning to everybody who has joined already. Maria Wolfgang, good morning. Just Play Nuts, good morning. Daniel, good morning. Paul, good morning. Familie Sloos. Erin, Drew, Gebakje, me, myself, all the others, good morning. Infinity, goedemorgen kerel. Happy New Year, mate. Janine, goedemorgen. Guten Morgen, Frits. Hadi Tijn, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, guys. So it is more cloudy than it was yesterday, significantly more cloudy. You can see bits of blue in between the clouds, but for the most part it is cloudy. Let's quickly turn back because our first heavy hitter is on its way over here. 777-300 KLM flight 872 arriving from Delhi in India. Oh, it's the PHBVV. Surfaces, spotless. Almost always they are. Patrick, goedemorgen. Zivi, goedemorgen. Nico, goedemorgen. Beste wensen. Tim, goedemorgen. Gerwin, goedemorgen. Leo, goedemorgen. The next heavy hitter, not too far out. First next airplane will be from Vueling, an A320, returning from Barcelona. And the next heavy is already behind it, immediately. And visible, A330-200 KLM arriving from Vancouver. Adrie, goedemorgen. Navy Jack, good morning. Jack, goedemorgen. En beste wensen voor jou ook. 2 airplane glide slope shot at the moment. And Emirates Sky Cargo is flying base, approaching Leiden. We'll be turning in and also coming this way. Can't see it just yet. Still a bit too far out. Linus, good morning. Deloire, good morning. Floris, goedemorgen. Marianne, goedemorgen. Martien, goedemorgen. Ramon, goedemorgen. Peter, tuning in all the way from Australia. Good evening, mate. Welcome to the show. Vueling flight 8300 arriving from Barcelona. The first airplane to arrive on the right. 2 hours and 8 minutes on the way. 18 years old, first flight made 2006. Mr. Apple, good morning. First time here. Well, welcome and thank you for taking the effort to say hi. It's not mandatory to say hi if you're new to the channel, but it is always appreciated. Also feel free to shoot any questions that you might have. There's always a lot of people watching, they're all friendly, and a lot of them are knowledgeable, and there's no such thing as a stupid question. Remember that. Hans' favorite, Vueling, spot the dot. Already so early in the stream. Now there are, if I counted correctly, 3 747s and an A380 underway. Bird is flying along. Beautifully, beautiful. What a combo shot. Oh, a little banking. Hadi Marco, goedemorgen. Nico, goedemorgen. So yeah, we have a military airplane over there. I think it was a C-17. Don't pin me down on that. On the cargo area north side we only have one Chinese 777 at the moment. Let's quickly turn back because we have 3 consecutive wide bodies now coming this way. You can already see them all 3. In the foreground we have KLM flight 682 arriving from Vancouver, Canada. That's an A330-200. It's the FWAF, it's the PH AOF, and that is 18 years old. Fluffy landing, as often is the case with A330s. Orlando, good morning. Gerard, goedemorgen. Good morning. Nick Outdoor Adventures, goedemorgen. Mid-KS, good morning mate. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Paul, goedemorgen. Bob, good evening. You can definitely hear engines being started. GE90s I think even. And here's the glide slope, here's our next airplane. Emirates Sky Cargo coming in from Dubai World Center. Flight 9906. 6 hours 58 minutes the current flight time. 777 freighter that is 11 years old already. Began flying in March 2013. Third airplane also visible, a nice linear 3 airplane glide slope shot. The heavies continue to come in back to back, at least 3 including this one. And then it looks like Ryanair with a MAX 8 737 will break the chain. Mr. Blue Sky, good morning. Chisek, good morning. Natalie, good morning. Michelle, goedemorgen. Lucas, good morning. Romy, goedemorgen. Welcome to everybody. Happy Sunday. Distracted there by the bird that apparently looked to be flying very close by the airplane. Luckily, it was still at a respectable distance. Looked a bit scary for a moment, at least from where I was standing. Richard, goedemorgen. Avi Geek, good morning. Welcome everybody. Happy New Year. If I haven't said so to you already. A new year, a new beginning. First time at Kaagbaan this year. 2 consecutive heavies, and Ryanair is the 3rd airplane behind them. Can we see it already? Yeah, no, don't think so. I'm struggling to see it. The 2 heavies I don't struggle to see. Next up, KLM flight 676 arriving from Edmonton, Canada. That's a 7879 Dreamliner. PHF. 8-year-old airplane, first flight April 2016. The airplane behind it, 777-200 KLM flight 606, returning from San Francisco. See that Delta Airlines Flight 56 is flying downwind off the coast. That's an A330-300 coming in. Wolfgang says, looks like no wind at all today. Well, there is wind on paper in the ticker. Here on ground level it feels nearly calm. You can see hardly any ripples in the water. Also hardly any birds. There are a couple further downstream. Otherwise all calm over here, both over here and over there in the water. On paper the wind I think was coming from the west, so more or less from over there. If you look at the flag over here, it does seem to indicate that the wind is coming more or less from, well, northwest, somewhere over there. There's not a lot of wind. That's the that's the summary of it. Lisa, also good morning to you. Marijn, goedemorgen. Robin, goedemorgen. Welcome to all others who have joined. You're watching AMS Live. The channel Schiphol Group loves to hate. It's that good. And this is KLM flight 606, arriving from San Francisco. 777-200. Emirates Sky Cargo 777 over there, making its way over here. It's probably going to park right next to the Chinese 777 that is already parked over here. For those of you joining us later, there is a special visitor here at Schiphol Airport, a C-17 that actually we saw land on the center runway yesterday. Right after I was done, well, half an hour after I was done streaming actually. Maybe a little bit later, I think it was around 1:30. Now, 3 airplanes visible in the distance. The first one on the right is Ryanair. That's a MAX 8 737, arriving from Malaga. 3 hours and 10 minutes on the way. 2 years old. First flight December 2022. Casper, goedemorgen. Nick, goedemorgen. Martin, goedemorgen. Stefan, goedemorgen. Miguel, good morning. Air Aviation, goedemorgen. Hopefully I didn't forget anyone. Aviation Dallas, good morning. Bro, what up? A lot of people already in the chat this morning. Hope everybody is doing well. So, if I counted correctly, 3 747s and A380 are expected all before 12:30 local time. If at some point it is going to calm down, but by the looks of it, it won't for the next couple of minutes. I can show you flight radar. But if you look at flight radar, you can also see that the glide slope to runway 06 is quite full. Back-to-back inbound traffic coming to runway 06 where we are standing next to. And that is currently the only runway being used for inbound traffic. Lufty A319 next to land. After that, 2 consecutive Dreamliners. Hey there Troy, good evening. Peter, goedemorgen. Marco, goedemorgen. Hans, goedemorgen. Blue Power Gaming, good morning. Some more open skies over to the southwest where the camera is now pointed to. Next airplane coming in is arriving from Munich. On the far right it is Lufthansa flight 2302. That is an A319 in Star Alliance livery. Evert, goedemorgen. Good morning to all the others who have joined. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing at the Kaagbaan. Runway 06. Only runway in use for arrivals at the moment. C-17 Globemaster parked behind me in the distance. Arrived at Schiphol yesterday around 1:30 p.m. local time. And 747s and an A380 are underway until 12:30. So if you don't have to be anywhere, stick around. Emirates Sky Cargo making its way over to its parking spot somewhere next to the 777 that is already parked over there. Infinite Mustafa also there. Good morning, mate. Good to see you. I hope all is well. Jarno, goedemorgen. John, hi there. Tina, goedemorgen. Evert, not sure if I said hi already. Goedemorgen. Just Play Nuts asks, what was your resolution with Schiphol Group? I don't know what happened. Nothing happened. There is no resolution. I think you need a lawyer or something to delve into the matter, and I'm not sure that even if I was going to do that, it would result in a favorable outcome. I guess if you don't have an elaborate setup, it looks like you are doing stuff there, streaming, but maybe making pictures for yourself, and they'll leave you alone. My setup is just too elaborate. I'm a literal walking target over there. They can see me on all the cameras and they can send security to me right away, which is what they did last time I was there. I think the stream lasted 40 minutes or so. Oh, reversers. Aris Safani, good morning. Cor, goedemorgen. Hugo, goedemorgen. J van Steen, goedemorgen. Morning one and all. Holy cow. That's a lot of reversers being applied there. I see that there is a BizJet on the glide slope to what seems to be 36 right. I think it's going to make a last minute bank to the right to land on runway, what is it then, 04. I saw a glimpse of it for a moment just now. Oh yeah, near the lantern, there it is. Now, unfortunately, its arrival coincides with the continuation of heavy hitters arriving here on runway 06, so I'm going to focus on that since that's closest by and easiest to spot. American Airlines Flight 204 arriving from Philadelphia next. 7878 Dreamliner. Reversers being applied gives me a quick moment to crouch behind the laptop because I saw that John was also back in the chat and he came in with a bang. 5 gifted memberships just now by John O'Donnell. John, thank you so much for your courtesy, for your kindness and for your generosity. I hope that everybody who receives a membership from you will say thank you for it and will also enjoy the custom emojis that they now have access to for a month. Also, a new poll for members has just opened up yesterday because we reached 700 members. That means finally we have vacancy for a new emoji. For the time being, I placed Chucky as a placeholder until the winner of the poll has been declared and I can make a new emoji, add them to the roster. So for the time being you can use Chucky again, even though Chucky is no longer in active service. Don't forget to vote. You have until Sunday next week. Cast your votes in the members only section of the community section. Now the Delta A330 just now landed. Just Play Nuts celebrating 5 months of membership. Keep on trucking. I will definitely do that, mate. Thank you so much for your continued support. Do let me know if something is no longer good in the lounge. Let me see what I can do about it then. I hope I did not miss any messages. I thought there was another message. I was missing something. Or was I? No, I don't think I was. Hey Andre, good morning. Roadhog, good morning. Andre asks, any Embraers today? Well, it's Schiphol Airport, so maybe, if we're lucky. Once again, and this has been going on now since I arrived here. A few drizzly droplets. Doesn't amount to a lot, but on occasion a few droplets continue falling down here. Nothing substantial, luckily. This is KM Malta, arriving from Malta. It's an A320neo. 6 years old, first flight May 2018. Boom, boom. Touchdown. Good morning. Me, myself, Hans, Day, Victor, green light, Marian, other Marian, more Marianen, Erik, and all the others. You're watching MS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing here at the Kaagbaan, where there's a visitor that you don't see every day. She's 17, landed here yesterday. We actually saw it land while walking back, or while still at the parking lot of the Polderbaan yesterday. We have two 777s now parked over here. Boogie Boy, goedemorgen. Gertin, goedemorgen. Martin, goedemorgen. KLM A321neo coming in next, arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle, flight 1402, and this is fax D, I should say, not the, but D. Delta, the latest and greatest. Erik is winning. He's watching with a good cup of coffee. Always good. A good combination. Fliegertyp 83. Guten Morgen. Anthony, good morning. And oh, the Team USA Delta A330neo due soon, he says. Didn't know that, but that would be the 4th consecutive day that we're going to see it then. Awesome. Miranda, good evening. Alexander, goedemorgen. Hugo, good morning. Hugo asks, why haven't I seen an Alitalia since 2020? Did they stop or so? Yeah, they went bankrupt. ITA is now the successor of what used to be Alitalia, the blue airplanes from ITA Airways. Eddie, goedemorgen. Mitchell, good morning. Goedemorgen. Gertin en Jacqueline. Jacqueline er ook bij. Goedemorgen. En Jay, goedemorgen. Alex, Lightfoot, goedemorgen. Jan Kees, goedemorgen. Wolfgang asks who the C-17 belongs to. I don't know for sure. I do see a light now. The flashing knob. I mean, obviously it's military, but if it is US, UK, I don't know. Don't know for sure. Silkenader, goedemorgen. Kanshan, good morning. Yillard, goedemorgen. Yillard says that the C-17 will be leaving later because of the fog in Eindhoven. It diverted yesterday, as did a couple of other airplanes. Luckily, no mist and fog. Hardly any wind. El Al next, arriving from Tel Aviv, as they always do. Keep looking to see if I can spot some anti-missile system things. It seems to be tucked away, even though I've heard people in the chat say that every airplane from El Al has those anti-missile systems on board. Only once did I see it actually sticking out. I mean, it would be logical for them to tuck it in because, like with the gear, it causes friction and drag. Ah, Hungarian Air Force, Yillard says. That's where the C-17 belongs to. Anthony, goedemorgen. And you're welcome, Infinite Mustafa. That was a good suggestion you made yesterday. Maxi Boy, goedemorgen. Johan, goedemorgen. En Lucas. Jari, goedemorgen. Marco says the ETA colors are pretty. I would be surprised. Well, let's ask everybody who is watching. Is there anybody in the chat who doesn't like the colors of ETA? Because I think it would be an almost unanimous vote for pretty. Hugo and Izzy, goedemorgen, good morning. Lach met Dennis, goedemorgen, good morning. Tarom is coming in next, arriving from Bucharest. It looks like Turkish will be next after that, arriving from Istanbul with an A330-200. First up, Tarom. Flight 361, arriving from Bucharest. The airplane is 11 years old, first flight October 2013. Also looks like the sun might shine a little bit from behind clouds. Looking behind me where the sun is in the sky, I do see bits of blue. Let me also go back to the default lighting settings. The exposure. The footage looked a bit dark before going live, so I upped the exposure compensation a quarter stop. Maybe that will no longer be necessary. There we go, back to the default setting. Hey Troy. Troy already signing off, has to go back to bed, sleep time. Thank you for joining, Troy. Sleep well. Adiria, goedemorgen. Aeolus Capital, good to see you. Happy New Year. Long time no see, at least that's what it feels like. Eli Gaming and Planes, good morning. So this is the part of the sky where currently the sun should be at. You can see there's still clouds, but might look like we get a few rays of sunshine at some point. We'll wait and see. That's all we can do. Turkish flight 1951 arriving from Istanbul, A330-200. Normally speaking, flight time around 3 hours, and yep, 3 hours and 2 minutes, so that is exactly par for the course. The 18-year-old airplane began flying in July 2006. Hey, dankjewel Aeolus Capital. Aeolus Capital asks 60 FPS new? No. I've been doing that since the beginning. It always has been. Well, I think it's 50 that I output. Hey, and there you have the sunshine. It would be nice if the sun would start to shine a little bit more, because we do have the sun behind us and it would illuminate all the airplane liveries beautifully this time of day, standing here. Tom, goedemorgen, Tom Vrijsen. I totally missed a super chat from you yesterday. Saw it when looking back. Apologies, mate. Thank you so much. A belated thank you for a super chat yesterday, Tom Vrijsen. Happy to see you back in the chat so that I can say in person thank you. We have another Delta A330 coming in next, arriving from Port of Spain. It is still a little bit further away, and that gives us some time to have a look at what is coming in. 3 747s, and if I'm not mistaken, they're all candidates for the runway we are standing next to. So, yeah, weather situation, clouds and hardly any wind. Runway use, also nothing surprising. We're hearing GE90s being started. That is the Chinese 777 that has been pushed back, and that is going on its way in a moment. We have 3 747s. They're all coming. They're all expected to land on the Kaagbaan, because these will all land in the time frame that only Kaagbaan will be open, and this one will be arriving from the west. So Kaagbaan it will be. Emirates A380 almost entering Hungarian airspace. ETA 1212 early today. That is for the time being it. The SLM A340-600 is also coming, but expected later in the day. Let me quickly turn back on my gloves and go back to the camera controls before the A330 goes out of the picture, which we don't want. There we go. KLM flight 775 arriving from Port of Spain, A330-200, 8 hours and 38 minutes on the way. It's the PH AOA, 19 years old, first flight August 2005. Oh yeah, the sun shining on the KLM livery beautifully. After this, playtime, ladies and gentlemen. Dust off your red emoji, because it is coming next after this. Meanwhile, you're also start hearing the second engine of the 777, the Chinese triple, starting. There's the culprit on the right, on the left. That's the airplane whose engines you could hear start just now. Tom, goedemorgen. Tom van Kats. Thomas, also good morning. Wessel, good morning. Javier, good morning. John, good morning. Janine from Edinburgh. Carol Ann, good morning. Good to see you again. Happy New Year. Jan-Willem Wanders, goedemorgen kerel. Happy New Year. And the C-17 is on the move. Interesting. There she goes. Something you don't see every day. Look at how those wings drop down. The wingtips so much lower than the origin of the wing at the fuselage. SAC heavy airlift, hell yeah. Rob, goedemorgen. Stan, goedemorgen. Gijs, goedemorgen. And the 777 on the move, also following suit. Now, question is, will it take off from center or from Polderbaan? Has anybody have a look? Stop it! I have a glandular problem, Lisa says. Right. If somebody can have a look to see what runway it will take off from and give me a sign when the C-17 is lined up ready to go, we can also film its departure, both from center and from the Polderbaan. We can see it, although of course center is closer by and we can see it more detailedly. Play coming in next, and Croatia Airlines after that. After that, it is time for another Dreamliner from KLM. Thank you, Yillard. Your plane is departing from center. If you guys could tag me in chat with @AMS Live and give me a heads up when it is lined up, ready to go. Not sure how many contenders there are that the C-17 will have to wait for, but don't want to miss its departure, obviously. Croatia Airlines Flight 450 arriving from Zagreb. Sadly, not A220 today, but a regular A320. Also no Neo, just a plain A320. 24 years old already. First flight of this airplane was in 2000, April. Evan also back in the chat. Good morning, mate. Hope all is well. Welcome to all others who have joined. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy, and we just saw a C-17 traverse the runway on its way out to runway center to take off. Three 747s and the A380 all expected before 12:15 p.m. local time. This is KLM flight 644. C-17 lining up. Thank you guys. So after this airplane has landed, we can immediately switch. Or can we? Yeah, I think, well, I see something just took off from center, so That's the previous airplane, C-17, now lined up, ready to take off. C-17 Globemaster. Is it also showing on flight radar? It is. C-17 Globemaster now taking off from the center runway, which is right behind the trees in the center of our field of view. Boeing C-17 Globemaster is 15 years old. The first flight of this airplane was in September 2009, destination unknown. There it is. C-17 Globemaster taking off. A rare visitor of Schiphol Airport. It's not a very fast climber. It is smoky a little bit. What a sight. And now it's hitting the clouds, unfortunately. Already. You're hearing an Embraer 175 landing. And you can also see it doing a cameo. That was the C-17 Globemaster here at Schiphol Airport today, January 12th, 2025. Let's continue back with the airplanes arriving on Kagbaan. Delta Airlines Flight 74 on the left, that's an A330 returning from Atlanta, Georgia, and in the foreground on the right we have KLM Flight 1930 737-800 arriving from Geneva. Flight time 1 hour and 10 minutes. The PH BXD, 25 years old. It is a millennial, hailing from the year 1999. In the meantime, good morning to everybody who has joined. You're watching AMS Live. The channel Schiphol Group loves to hate, it's that good. We're standing here at the Kagbaan runway 06, currently the only runway in use for arrivals until approximately 11 o'clock. 3 747s and the Emirates A380 are expected all before 12:15 p.m. local time. So if you don't have to be anywhere, stick around. I know I will, to show you all the Quad Squad members coming in. After the Delta A330 that is next to land, KLM 777 is coming in. Arriving from Johannesburg, South Africa, that's 777-300, already visible on the glide slope. There it is. And you're welcome, Joseph, for that C-17 view. My pleasure. Next up, Delta Airlines Flight 74, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. Third airplane, also visible further back. That is a KLM Dreamliner arriving from Austin in Texas. KLM Flight 668. Delta Airlines, Flight 74, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, A330-300, 9 years old, first flight April 2015. Let's look and listen. So the C-17 underway. What else is there on the south side of the platform? Atlas Air, DHL, FedEx. Is that the nose of a 737? Almost looks like it, doesn't it? Interesting. Atlas Air, DHL. Right. Current status quo. This is what the sky currently looks like. You can see bits of blue. We had a few droplets, brief droplets temporarily, bit of drizzle. Now it is dry. Unfortunately, no birds in the water. Don't know what they have done to chase them all away. Also at Polderbaan lately, haven't seen them. Ducks, coots, grebes. 777-300, Beautiful. Same sound when a 777 freighter passes by. So distinct. I love it personally. Good morning to everybody who has joined. Watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and we are at the Kaagbaan, runway 06, primary runway for arrivals today. Next airplane coming in, KLM flight 668 arriving from Austin, Texas. And we can see another 777-300 behind it. That is KLM flight 598. Arriving from Cape Town. Daniel says 747 Cargolux just past Nijverdal. First of 3 coming in. 3 queens, 1 king. The king is early today. Expected just past noon. 12 minutes or so. Hans will be flying to Singapore, with Singapore to Schiphol. Nice. Which flight will you be on? When will you be landing? KLM flight 598 in the foreground. 777 arriving from Cape Town. The lights that you see left of it are from KLM flight 602. That's returning from LAX. That's the 787-10 Dreamliner. Adi, Diana, Eddie, Sarah, good morning to you all. Happy New Year to those who I haven't said Happy New Year to all before already. If you joined us just now, you might have missed a C-17 Globemaster that had to divert to Schiphol yesterday due to fog at at Eindhoven Airport. Just left. We filmed its departure. I will make a separate video of that one. Post it later today. If you joined us just now, you haven't missed any Queens or Kings yet. 3 747s are inbound and the first one is getting closer by a minute. Well, the others are too, but won't be long before the first of the 3 will land over here. All 3 747s now expected to land here on the Kaagbaan. And the Emirates A380, which is a bit early today, expected around 12:15 p.m. local time, so in 1.5 hours and a bit. No, that's 2.5 hours. No, 1.5 hours. You're all expected to land here on the Kaagbaan, so if you don't have to be anywhere, stick around, because I definitely will. Ah, Hans is flying on Singapore Airlines. Nice, 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 nice. Hey, Danny is celebrating his birthday today. Congratulations, Danny. Happy birthday, mate. Right. Now, I think we are getting a break from all the heavy hitters back to back with 2 Transavia 737s, the first of which is returning from Salzburg and the second of them is arriving from Innsbruck. Don't see the second one just yet, or is it barely visible? I would think it would be somewhere over there, but that's just a rough estimation. Could also well be that it's not visible just yet. 2 Transavia 737s returning from Austria. Now, if you like narrow bodies and dislike wide bodies, I have bad news for you, because after the 2 Transavias, it looks like we're back to seeing more wide-bodied big airplanes. I know you're here all to see the small Embraers and whatnot and the 737s, but yeah, bear with me, it will get better. Transavia returning from Salzburg. Next, the Transavia from Innsbruck. Winter sport vacation. Stranger, morning. Henk-Jan, goedemorgen. Kaagbaan, runway 06 is what we are standing next to. Oh, no. Overshot. Here, the Emirates 777 being unloaded. Hans van Rijssen says good morning, home of the one more Embraer. That certainly would be an appropriate nickname for Schiphol Airport. Hans Day says full of ski goers, absolutely. Great time, 007, goedemorgen. Thank you for the kind words. Robert, goedemorgen. And you're welcome, that is exactly why I'm doing this. Not everybody has a subscription from Flight Radar where they can see the information that I think is quite interesting to know. So now it's an aspect of the added value I think I provide with this live stream. Transavia arriving from Innsbruck, flight 6602, and vaguely visible behind it is Delta Airlines flight 90. The Delta flight is arriving from Orlando, Florida. Another A330. Hey, EasyJet A319 from Gatwick creeping up behind it. Qatar A350 is also flying downwind. East of me, I'm looking to the left. Can I see anything? Don't see anything yet. I am happy to report though that I see some birds in the water for the first time in weeks. Looks like a coot. Yeah. And there is another one right over there. Two coots. The first sign of life in the water here. Transavia flight 6602 arriving from Innsbruck next to land here at runway 06 de Kaagbaan. Great time 007. What you're hearing is Spijkerboor. S-P-I-K-E-R-B-O-O-R. That's a sign. No, that's not the proper translation. That's a beacon, a baken. So that's a point where airplanes will fly to. Spijkerboor. Yeah, indeed, Hans. NDB ooit, a non-directional beacon. Not Julius says greetings from Sydney. If you're not Julius, then who are you? Hey, go around for the C-17, Robert says. Interesting. They like flying so much, the pilots, that they're going around just for the sake of it. Mr. Hilton also back. Good morning, Mark. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Delta arriving from Orlando, Florida. Just plain out says, I fly to Bacon. Hey there, Lucas, who is tuning in from Meath. Is that the way? Meath? Is that the way you pronounce it? In Ireland, Meath. It sounds. I think it looks like you should pronounce it as Meath, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Apologies if I mispronounced that. Cargolaux, it should be somewhere to the east. I'm already looking to see if I can spot something. Don't see it yet. There's A319 coming in next from London Gatwick, EasyJet, and after that it looks like it is going to be a slew of wide bodies. If you're here for the narrow bodies, bear with me because it will get better at some point, but we have to wait through a Dreamliner, another Dreamliner, an A350 and a Boeing 747, so yeah. I know what you guys are thinking, boring. Well, let's savor this A319 narrow body from EasyJet coming in from London Gatwick, and then suffer the wide bodies that are next. Wiepstra, goedemorgen. Wiepstra is tuning in from Friesland. Right. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing any of the airplanes that are flying downwind. What I am seeing is that the sun is shining through the clouds and it gives a dreamlike atmosphere if you look in that part of the sky. quite remarkable to see. Little van number 17 just drives by, wave to and from the driver. Here we have the first of the wide bodies. This is a Dreamliner returning from Cartagena, KLM flight 749. That's a 787-10 Dreamliner. So the first of 3 747s that, together with the Emirates A380, are all expected before 12:15 local time, is approaching. Next to come, TUI Flight 365 arriving from Bonaire. That's a 787-8 Dreamliner, 10 years old. First flight May 2014, flying for 8.5 hours now. And let me quickly go back to the computer because I saw that Hans just now gifted 5 memberships. Hans, thank you so much, mate, above and beyond. Thank you so much for your generosity, Hans. Hope that the new members will enjoy the custom emojis. And you can also now vote. We have another election because we crossed 700 members yesterday, and that means a new custom emoji slot has become vacant. I've put Chucky in it as a placeholder for the time being, should the number of members drop below 700 again, so that we can still keep it. And there's a poll for members that runs until next week Sunday, where you can cast your vote for your favorite pick for the next new custom emoji. Actually, I saw yesterday that we were also very close to 800 members already. Not sure how many have expired in the meantime, but I think we were 20 or so shy from 800. So I might even come home after this stream and see that we have a second vacant slot for 2 custom emojis. If that's going to be the case, obviously another poll will follow. So if you just received a gifted membership from Hans or from any of the other people, go ahead and cast your vote in the member section. Don't forget to say thank you to the gifter of your membership, and also don't forget to use the custom emojis that you now have access to for a month. Back to the heavy hitters. Qatar arriving from Doha. That's an A350-900 next to land over here, and the 747, the first of 3, should be behind it. Where is it though? On paper, I think I should be able to see it with clear weather. Ufuk is tuning in from Italy. Buongiorno. Benvenuto. Ah, yes. The first of 3 747s that we are going to see in today's show. And we're also going to see the Emirates A380. This is Qatar Flight 275, Qatar Airways A350-900 arriving from Doha. 8 years old. Wondering, can we look into the cockpit? Maybe. But then you would not be able to see the beautiful entire shape of the airplane. Cannot linger too long on the rollout of the airplane we're now seeing land. Otherwise, we're missing out on seeing the 747 coming in. Andy, morning mate. Arjan, goedemorgen. Good morning to all others who joined just now. The first of 3 747s in today's show is coming. And if you joined us only just now, you might have missed the departure of the C-17 Globemaster that diverted to Schiphol yesterday and went to Eindhoven earlier this morning. I'm going to make a separate video of it, so if you missed it, stay tuned for that. Or turn on notifications if you haven't already. Cargo Lux arriving from Nairobi, Kenya, the first of 3 747s that we are going to see in today's show. This one underway for 8 hours and 37 minutes. 747-400 freighter, 19 years old. First flight of this airplane was in November 2005. Also, the G from Aegean is approaching runway 36 right. It is opening up a bit early though. Normally that would happen around 11. I'm hoping they're also going to close it then a bit sooner. What a sound. Flipping A. Think that it is going to make a right-hand turn, come this way, park somewhere over here on this side. Nice headshot expected over here in a few moments. In the meantime, Air Oink Oink is arriving behind me. A321neo Pegasus arriving from Istanbul. Another Delta A330 behind it. Yep, there it is, making a right-hand turn. Now if you joined us just now, stick around if you don't have to be anywhere. Between now and 12:15, 2 more 747s are expected to land on the runway we are standing next to. And the same can be said of the Emirates A380. It is in a standard livery today though. Still. On the mic, you are going to pick up the sound of Pegasus Flight 1251 landing here on the Kaagbaan. And in the backdrop, the buildings, the high-rises, that is the Zuidas, the so-called Zuidas. Literally translated into English, South Axle. Axis, probably better in this regard. It's a conglomeration of office buildings where a lot of banks and law firms are situated around the highway A10, the ring around Amsterdam, the city. In the meantime, Danny just became a member. Danny, the happy birthday boy, just became a member. Thank you so much for choosing the Aurora Skylines again, mate. We kept your seat warm. Thank you for the ongoing support, mate. And once again, happy birthday. Indeed, Gillard, Atlas Air arriving is the Apex Logistics livery. 2 more 747s on their way. Delta Airlines Flight 136 is also coming, arriving from Detroit, Michigan. Blackbird's also back in the chat. Very good morning. Wouter, ik kan ook Nederlands. PC Builder, good morning. And good morning to all the others who have joined. Chinese triple, landing on the runway that is now also in use for arrivals. Already over there. Well, the buildings are in the way. Chinese triple. ITA also arriving on the wrong runway, sadly for us. But still plenty of traffic coming in. We have an Embraer 175, so luckily for those of you who favor Embraers to big Boeings, you'll get your fix right now. KLM flight 1918 arriving from Zurich. After that, back to heavy hitters. Delta Airlines flight 236 is on the left, visible already, arriving from Tampa. Behind it, further out, is a 787-10, no, 7879. That is arriving from Panama City. Don't think we can see it just yet. Flock of birds, we can see. This is KLM flight 1918, arriving from Zurich. 8 years old, first flight September 2016. Arthur, good morning. And there is absolutely an A380 underway. Expected around 12:15 if I recall correctly. Maybe if traffic slows down a little bit, we can have another look. If you joined us just now, you probably missed the C-17 Globemaster that diverted to Amsterdam yesterday because of fog at its original destination, Eindhoven. It flew out earlier in the stream and we were able to catch its departure from the center runway. I'll make a separate video of it. So stay tuned for that if you missed it. You don't have to look for it. I will make a separate video that will be published later today. The Emirates Sky Cargo 777 now basking in the sunshine. They're still unloading it. Unfortunately, we cannot linger too long on it because the next heavy is coming. Delta Airlines flight 236 arriving from Tampa in Florida. A330-300, 4,007 nautical miles it has journeyed. It is now flying for 17 years. Started in January 2007. 5 heavies in a row. Infinite Mustafa says, oh dear, oh dear. Well, I hope that those of you who like narrow bodies over heavies will stick around. We can do this together. Get through it. Again, a little bit of sunshine. Oh, bright sunshine, no less. But only temporary. Elise, good morning. Good morning to all the others who have joined. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing at the Kaagbaan. Runway 06, one of 2 runways now in use for arrivals. We saw a C-17 Globemaster take off earlier that diverted to Amsterdam yesterday. We saw Boeing 747 land already and 2 more are underway, as is the Emirates A380. Let's have a quick look before the next heavy is getting really close by. So, in terms of 747s, the first one is already flying base, the second one is crossing the North Sea, and the A380 is flying in Czech airspace. So if you don't have to be anywhere, stick around because I certainly will catch them all, just like Pokemons. If you're enjoying the stream and you haven't done so already, consider leaving a like. It really helps to promote this content to people like yourselves who are into streams such as these but who haven't come across the channel just yet. Helps the algorithm to promote this content to people like yourselves into aviation. If you're new to the the channel, feel free to say hi. It's not mandatory by any means, but it is always appreciated. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. There are many people watching, they're all friendly, and quite a few of them are knowledgeable, so feel free to shoot. There's no such thing as a stupid question. What is a pity is that the beautiful Ita Blue is passing us by and going to the wrong runway. That is an A319 arriving from Milan. Already vaguely visible because of the heat waves emanating from the building chimneys. Roy, goedemorgen. Good to see you, mate. Harjeet, good morning. And good morning to all the others who have joined us. Welcome to the show. You're watching Amos Live, and the heavy hitters continue coming to the Kaagbaan. Also a massive big thank you to Patrick Lehmeyer, who is celebrating 14 months of membership. Whoop whoop, have a nice day. Oh, he writes, whoop whoop indeed, mate. Patrick, thank you so much for your support. Hope all is still good in the lounge. Do let me know if something is starting to run out so that I can replenish the stocks in time. Thank you so much for your support, Patrick. This is Delta Airlines, and it is the 4th consecutive day that we are going to see the Team USA Delta A330neo arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Chinese triple that landed on runway 36 right. You could see on the left in the background coming this way. And that is probably going to park right next to the Emirates 777 that is already parked on the north side of this runway. Familie Stoop asks... Familie Slow, sorry, misread. Asks if I'm doing this all on my own or if I have people helping me. Well, I do have moderators that keep the chat friendly and accessible, but over here, I'm standing here all alone. I've got my utility card with me, I've got my control desk with me, my mic with me, and of course the camera is on a tripod that you cannot see right now because I cannot film myself. But yeah, camera work and whatnot, highlighting messages is what I all do by myself, but I have moderators from all over the world, I'm happy to say, very proud of that fact, that help the chat stay the chat to stay friendly and accessible to all. Air Canada flight 808 is coming in next, arriving from Toronto, Canada. Boeing 787-8. 9-year-old airplane, first flight January 2015. What's that behind it? It is another queen. Means that we will not linger too long on the rollout of this airplane once it has touched down. Well, I'm happy to hear that, Maria, and also all other mods. If modding is no longer to your liking, do let me know. Thus far, only once has it occurred that somebody laid down their duties as a moderator, but that was for personal reasons. It almost looked like there was a bird strike over there. It looked like those birds were awfully close to the airplane, but I probably did not see that correctly. 2 geese on their way, and there's a 747 coming. Look out, guys. You don't want to be in the way of a 747 on short final. Well, they're already gone, luckily. Or are they? Well, come on, guys. Continue. Yeah. They're safe. Right, let's focus on the business at hand. Queen number 2 of 3, no less. 3 queens, and Emirates A380 also still coming. They're all expected to land on this runway. It is Atlas Air, but it is Apex Logistics. It says Apex Logistics operated by Atlas Air, arriving from Miami, Florida. The airplane is 23 years old, 747-400 freighter. The first flight of this airplane was in July of the year 2001. Such a pity that the sun isn't shining right as the Queen is landing. She's reversing quite loudly. Wonderful. John Dutch Canadian also back in the chat. Morning, mate. Welcome back. Good to see ya. If you joined us just now, you might have missed the landing of the first Queen. This is the second. A third is coming. The A380 is also still expected. They're all expected before 12:15, so in an hour and 15 minutes from now, another Queen and the A380 are expected. One Queen already landed prior to this one. And we also saw the C-17 Globemaster that diverted from Eindhoven to Schiphol yesterday leave earlier. Another Chinese triple. Meanwhile, on final to runway 36 right. I'm thinking that the Atlas Queen is going to follow the same path as the previous Queen did. Yep, you can already see her turn to the right. That means headshot incoming. Apex Logistics. A350 from World to Fly is also turning final just north of Leiden. Maria, good morning. Clemencia, goedemorgen. J van Leiden, goedemorgen. Welcome all others who joined us just now. You're watching Amos Live. The channel, that good. That Schiphol group loves to hate it. And is that a predator bird? I think it is. Yep. I think that's a kestrel. Beautifully in the foreground. Posing. Modeling, if you will. In the meantime, number 175 from KLM is going to pass us by in a moment. I'm not going to film its landing, but you will hear it on the mic. It's returning from Aberdeen, KLM flight 912. I will be in time again for JetBlue arriving from New York. That is behind it. Massive big thank you to Optimus Toaster for your 10-month support in the Aurora Sky Lounge. 10 months a member. Can't wait for the narrow-bodied bodies, more Embraers. I'm so sorry, mate, that I already let you down by not filming the Embraer 175 that just now landed, and instead keep the camera focused on this boring Predator bird and the 747. Next up to the Kaagbaan is going to be JetBlue arriving from New York JFK, and after that an A350. Also, thank you so much, Maria, for your support. 1 month as a member, 1 down, and many more to go, hopefully. Thank you so much for your support, Maria. Let me turn back the camera. And film JetBlue arriving from New York JFK. That is an A321neo, and we have a Corendon World to Fly A350-900 arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao after that. Apex is turning in for its final parking spot. The A350 from World to Fly Corendon is approaching. Gives me a brief moment to go back to the computer, because I saw that John Dutch Canadian just now gifted a few memberships, 5 memberships, courtesy of John. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, new members. Don't forget to say thank you to John. Don't forget to vote for the new vacant slot for a new custom emoji in the members section of the community section of the page. A new custom emoji slot has become available, and as a new member, even if you got gifted your membership, you can vote. So please do so. The voting can be done until next week, Sunday. John, thank you so much for your kindness and your generosity. 5 members courtesy of you once more. And if I recall correctly, you are also participating in what is called Mission 1500. Mission 1500? That is a project initiated by Jörg, aka JD, and Austrian Wolf, aka Wolfgang. John Dutch Canadian also joining. Mission 1500 means 1500 likes in a live stream while live when John, JD and Wolfgang, Austrian Wolf are there. Each of them promises to drop 50 gifted memberships, so that is 150 memberships to be distributed among people who don't have a membership just yet whenever a stream will reach 1500 likes while live, when those 3 guys are in the chat. So, in an hour or so from now, the Emirates A380 is expected. And before that, another 747, a third one, is also expected. Let's have a quick look on flight radar, because last time we did that, it was a bit hasty. Also, I think that the weather report needs an update. First, let's have a look. Cargolux is already approaching the coast and is expected 11:24, so that is 10 minutes away. Emirates is making up more and more time. Now, 7 minutes after noon, it is expected it is already entering German airspace. Weather hasn't changed significantly, but the wind is now choosing direction, blowing from the north, and is blowing with 4 knots, aka 204. We have a ceiling at 3,800 feet, broken clouds at 3,800 feet, few clouds at 2,500 feet. The air temperature is 4 degrees, visibility below the ceiling is 10 plus kilometers. Very high pressure, 1,039 hectopascals is the air pressure, and no significant changes expected in the upcoming 2 hours. Airplanes coming in. Let me quickly paste the weather report I just now copied into the ticker, and then I'm going back to the camera to control what we can see. First airplane coming in, Embraer 175, arriving from Bristol. Already over here. The Chinese triple that just now landed on 36 right is approaching the parking on the north side of the runway. So that we should be able to see in a moment. There it is. Set 777. The World to Fly Corendon A350 has just vacated over there. A couple of narrow bodies will be following on this runway next. Here's the 777. It has to do some maneuvers to get to its parking space. Wouldn't be surprised if it's going to park right next to the 2 777s that are already parked over there. See that we have crossed 500 likes. Thank you all so much. And I see that made Wolfgang just now gift 5 memberships. Wolfgang, thank you so much, mate. You really didn't have to do that, you know that. But you did it anyway. There's no stopping you. Thank you so much for your tremendous generosity, mate. Not only gifting memberships, but also, of course, as a member yourself and as a very, very valued moderator. Thank you, Wolfgang. I hope that the new members will enjoy their membership. Don't forget to vote. Don't forget to use the custom emojis. Chucky is now back as a temporary placeholder for the new vacant slot, so... If you missed using the Chucky emoji, you temporarily can. Unless, of course, you all want Chucky back, even though the airplane itself is no longer flying. Because you just like to spam the chat with chocolate emojis. Hey, it's your call. You guys are the members. It is your party, as we say in Dutch. LTC 878. Guten Morgen. Herzlich willkommen. And all others who have joined, good morning. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing at Kaagbaan, runway 06, primary runway for arrivals. At some point, and I hope in 10 or so minutes from now, because they also started opening the runway 10 minutes earlier than normal. Runway 36, that is 36 right, that is now also being used for arrivals, will close. This runway is expected to remain the primary runway for arrivals in the upcoming hours. 36 right is now also open. Normally it would open around 11 and then stay open until approximately 11:40. It opened up 10 or so minutes earlier, so I'm hoping it is going to close around 11:30. This is KLM, flight 1136 arrival from Dublin. It is a 737-800. Rob Schut, goedemorgen. Janus Aviation, good morning. Davy Hanekamp, goedemorgen. And as I thought was going to happen, China Southern Cargo just now parking right in between the two 777s that were already there. The first that arrived of the three is this one. And you can see now they're starting to load it. Earlier you saw them unload it, and just by seeing that guy you realize how tremendously big these airplanes are. Me personally, I always think they're smaller when you see them close, but when you see a person next to it, you can see just how big these airplanes actually are. Next up, one of your favorites, it's number 175. This one arriving from Southampton, KLM flight 1068. Iceland Air flight 500 will be next. That's a MAX 8737. Cargolux arrival from Miami is turning in the 747. Can we see it? It is turning in as number 3. We can see the numbers 1 and 2 already over there. Third one is lined up behind the first two by the look of it on flight radar. I'm thinking we ought to be able to see it. If you know where you need to look. Question is, I don't know for sure if the clouds are in the way or not. Hey, Mr. Biker, also back in the chat. Morning, Paul. Good to see you, mate. Hope all is well. You certainly missed a lot already. There was a C-17 Globemaster that diverted to Amsterdam yesterday because of the fog at Eindhoven. We happened to see it land after the stream yesterday was done. We were still at the parking lot. and you could see it land on the center runway, and we saw it take off from the center runway earlier in the morning. I will make a separate video out of it, so if you missed the departure of the C-17 Globemaster, don't worry, got you covered. Stay tuned, later in the day I will release a separate video of it. 2 747s have already landed, the third one is now on the glide slope. Number 2 to arrive, and the Emirates A380 is early today, expected 7 minutes past noon local time. You will find the local time in the bottom left corner of your screen. Hadi Klaas, goedemorgen. Is it also cold where you are at, he asks. Well, it's not really that cold because there's hardly any wind. I am wearing gloves, but other than that, because there's hardly any wind, the temperatures are just above freezing, but because there's hardly any wind. Same with yesterday. Then we also had the sun shining. With the absence of wind, it doesn't feel very cold. And what has happened to the tip of the nose of this airplane? It does look nice. It's like it's wearing a face mask. Right. Let's focus on the third queen of the show, Cargolux, arriving from Miami, Florida. It's a 747 freighter. 7 hours and 40 minutes on the way. LXLCL is its registration. The airplane is 17 years old. And the first flight of this airplane was in May of the year 2007. You certainly have a lot of stuff to catch up on, Paul. And I'm doing good otherwise, obviously. Happy that the weather has improved. Been having so many consecutive days of foggy weather, drizzly weather, low ceilings. All in all, days that, although you can go out to stream, there's not much to see, so I didn't go out. Happy to now be able to go back out again. Looks like the weather is going to be conducive to live streaming in the upcoming weeks. Outdoor live streaming, not in parking garages. Either way, let's look and listen to the Cargolux Queen. That's the third of 3 queens. If you don't have to be anywhere, stick around. Because within the hour, the Emirates A380 is also expected. And guess where it's going to land? Exactly, this runway. Kevin, just in time, mate. This is the third queen of the show. There were 2 already landing here before. We also saw the C-17 Globemaster that diverted to Amsterdam from Eindhoven yesterday because of fog at Eindhoven. And that is a separate video in the making. So if you missed it, don't be afraid. If you've got your notifications on whenever new content is being released, you will get a notification later today. Quite nice indeed, and as expected, like with the previous 2 queens, this third queen also taking a right hand turn to park on the south side of runway 0624, where the cargo airplanes parking lots are. And you can see the windsock in the foreground, hardly any wind. And again, the high rises of what is called the Zuidas. That's the conglomeration of office buildings on the south side of the ring around Amsterdam, the highway ring A10, with law firms and banks over there. The Predator bird that we saw on one of these poles in the foreground has flown away. Pinky and the Brain apparently needed a ride. And another headshot, long distance headshot like we've seen twice before already in the stream. Emirates A380 still expected shortly after noon local time. You can see the local time in the bottom left corner of your screen. So if you don't have to be anywhere, stick around. The mic will pick up the sound of KLM flight 1030 landing 737-800 arriving from Manchester. Old person Chester, as I should call it, because we are PC, right? Bob says bedtime here, early start tomorrow. Thanks for the wonderful stream, enjoy the day. Thank you for joining, Bob. Sleep well and hope to see you again in the next one later in the week. Esther Benjamins, good morning. Goedemorgen. Narrow bodies coming in to runway 06 for the time being. And is the Embraer 190 from Hanover still turning in for 36 right? It does look like that's the case. Donna, goedemorgen. Henry, goedemorgen. Atlas, Cargolux is turning in. Three 777s over here being unloaded. This, well, I should say this one is getting unloaded by the looks of it. The Emirates that is closer by on its left is getting loaded. Once again, you can see with a person on that elevator, you can see just how tall and big these airplanes and those stacks of cargo are. You don't realize just how big these airplanes are until you see a person right next to it. Michael, good morning. Mate, you have missed 3 Queens land just now, if you only joined us just now. And also a C-17 Globemaster that had to divert to Schiphol Airport yesterday because of fog at its original destination Eindhoven in the south of the Netherlands. We saw it take off from the center runway earlier in the stream. I will make a separate video of it, so if you got your notifications on, you should get a queue later today with a beautiful video of the departure and also the traversal of the runway, because it was parked initially over here on the south side of the runway. Over here we could see it traverse runway. Beautifully featured, and also its departure from the center runway, to which we have good view over here. Right, well, don't know for how much longer runway 36 right is going to be used for arrivals. Patrick says A380 to Aalsmeerbaan. Is that so? Where did you get that from? I don't think it is going to go there unless they're keeping open the Aalsmeerbaan longer than normal. Are they going to do that? Curious where you get your information from, Patrick. Now, another A330 from KLM is approaching. There's a couple of narrow bodies before it. This is the first of those. This is KLM flight 1002 Arriving from London Heathrow, it is a 737-900. The sun is trying its best to shine, does so temporarily. When it does, you can see that sun is illuminating the liveries of the airplanes landing on this runway beautifully. The sun is behind us at this time of the day. It's only a question. Well, no, Patrick, if all is well, 36 right is going to close between now and 10 minutes from now. They opened the runway 10 minutes earlier, or already at 10 to 11. Usually the secondary runway for arrivals is open for approximately 40 minutes, so I'm thinking, and I'm looking at the flight path of KLM flight 1762 arriving from Bremen. You can already see it's making its way to Leiden. It seems to have passed the glide stop of 36 right already, so I'm thinking 36 right has in fact already closed. That means that runway 06, the runway we are standing next to, is going to stay open as primary runway for arrivals until approximately 1 o'clock. That means that the Emirates A380 is going to arrive in the Netherlands when only one runway for arrivals is open, and that will be this runway. Sordo, also back, tuning in from Seville in Spain. Welcome back, mate. Buenos dias. Hope you're doing well. We have a Brittany hopper coming in, flying on behalf of KLM. Eastern Airways arriving from Norwich. It is an Embraer 190, and Iberia Express arriving from Madrid is behind it. That's an A320. And after that, a KLM A330-200 arriving from Toronto, Canada. Haven't seen a lot of E2 Embraers or A220s. Come to think of it, have we seen any E2 Embraers today? We probably have seen one or two. I don't recall that typical whistle, having heard it. But maybe that's just my concentration, my lack of concentration. Hey, it seems that things are opening up a little bit. Looking around me, you can definitely see more bits of blue in the sky now than we could at the beginning of the stream. Check it out. The sun, unfortunately, is still being blocked by clouds that are over there. This is glide slope visibility. So yeah, I have to turn back so that the wires don't get tangled. There we go. On the left, the A330-200 arriving from Toronto, Canada, and on the on the right we have Iberia Express arriving from Madrid. It's flight 1791, 22-year-old airplane. First flight February 2002. John is tuning in from San Francisco, where it is 52F and clear but a bit windy. Let me recalculate that to those who use Celsius. 52 minus 30 . 52 minus 30 equals 22. 22 divided by 2 is 11 degrees Celsius or so. So that's a bit warmer actually than it is over here. Annie Maurice, goedemorgen. Is it morning still? Yeah, it is morning still. And welcome all the others who have joined us in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boye. We are standing here at the Kaagbaan threshold, the southwestern threshold, runway 0624, right in the vicinity of the cargo area of Schiphol Airport. Cargo planes that have their parkings, their aprons on the north side and south side of the runway that traffic is now landing on. 3 777 freighters and at least 3 747s over there. There's now 4 actually. You're not seeing double. And FedEx. Although looking at the nose, I'm inclined to say that looks like a FedEx 737. Not sure if that is correct or not. Or if it is another airplane, but the nose looks very much. Look at the beautiful sunshine illuminating the livery. That is actually what I was hoping for here today. More sunshine so that the liveries are illuminated beautifully. KLM flight 696 arriving from Vancouver, Canada. That's an A330-200. Tom says 767, I think. Could be. Stranger says compliments on knowing the formula. Thank you, mate. I know a lot of things. The reversers are being applied. You can still hear it. I'm also very happy to see Koets in the water. There was a second one that I saw. Oh yeah, there it is. Can we see them both? Yeah. Just about. First time I'm seeing birds in the water since I began streaming again in 2025. This is now the 4th stream, and I don't think, well, maybe once, very far away at the Polderbaan. I was standing on the south side, and very far to the north I also saw something. Russell also seems to be here. Well, we already saw Fidel Kestrel. Harry the Heron missing. The Koets, haven't seen them. Nor have I seen the Grebes. Hey there, Shamara. Shamara says, hi everyone, wish summer was here. Well, I do like summer. I also like the winter when it is really wintry weather, summery weather, but cold, so to speak. And it is a 737 from FedEx. Yillard is confirming. Also a massive big thank you to Arnoud, who is celebrating 10 months of membership. Good morning, boy. 10 months of membership. Happy, he writes. Arnoud, thank you so much for your support, mate. Hope you still like it in the Aurora Sky Lounge. Do let me know if something is lacking or no longer to your liking. Let me see what I can do to fix it then. KLM Embraer 175. Arriving from Bremen. Benji asks, where are you standing today? I'm standing on the southwestern threshold of the Kaagbaan, runway 0624. Airplanes to the Kaagbaan now starting to queue up. It's looking like it's going to get a little bit more busy. Also see, or feel I should say, and can visually confirm that the first battery that I have in my hand, heated glove, has died. So let me quickly replace the battery while we're waiting for EasyJet flight 28679 to inch closer by. It's arriving from Gatwick and is an A319. You can already see the second airplane behind it. That is another KLM Embraer 175, flight 1710, arriving from Luxembourg. And an Embraer 190 behind it, arriving from Humberside. So for those of you who came here for the Embraers, now is your time. Carlton, good morning. This is the Gasgo, G-E-Z-G-O, that's its registration. Not Let's Go, but Gasgo. 13 years old, first flight June 2011. After the two Embraers that are going to be next, We're going to see a 777-200 from KLM that is approaching and has returned from Las Vegas. Also hearing some bangs, but no bird control in sight over here. It's probably emanating from the other side of the runway, of the highway. And there is the 777. Number 3 on the glide slope. The numbers 1 and 2 we can see on the far left and far right. On the far right we have KLM flight 1710. That's number 175, returning from Luxembourg. Short flight, usually around 40 to 45 minutes. 6 years old, first flight April 2018. Although it is a bit difficult to keep it centered because they're moving so fast when they're passing by, you can zoom in into the cockpit a little bit. We could see the first officer focused on the business at hand, as they should be. Howdy Tom, morning. JB, morning. And all others, such as Mark, good morning. Welcome one and all. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy. We're standing at the Kaagbaan, and if you joined us only just now, you missed quite a lot already. 3 queens have landed. A C-17 Globemaster that had to divert to Schiphol yesterday left. We saw it traverse the runway because it was parked on the south side of the runway 0624. Took off from the center runway to the north. We were able to see both its departure and the taxi to the runway preceding it. I will make a separate video of the C-17's departure, so don't you guys worry if you missed it. If you have your notifications on, you can see it later in the day. Also, don't forget to vote if you're a member. I've opened up a new poll in the community section for the members. Since yesterday we crossed the 700 members mark. And that means a new slot has become available for a custom emoji. For the time being I have gotten Chucky back, and it is now a placeholder temporarily until the winner of the poll and the new emoji has been created. The poll runs until next week Sunday, end of the day local time. You will find more information in the community section. If you're a new member who just received a gifted membership, you're also eligible to vote. So if you have a preference, feel free to cast your vote. In fact, we were very close to 800 members, and that would mean another slot becomes available. Maybe, depending on how many memberships have expired between yesterday and today, maybe we will have crossed the 800 members and 2 custom emojis will become available. New emojis. This is KLM flight 636, 777-200. It is returning from Las Vegas. Just look at how clean those flap surfaces are. I'm telling you, KLM is hiding a car wash fit for wide-body airplanes somewhere here at Schiphol Airport. I don't know yet where it is, but I'm pretty sure that they have one. Hey Stefan, goedemorgen. Bear with me says, looks like ground crew will take the cake. I'm sure that Jerry will be very thrilled with that if that were to happen. But you can still vote. Still early. Voting only was open. The voting was opened only yesterday, so things can still change, of course. Paper Chase asks, any big plane today? Well, big planes we already saw. C-17 Globemaster take off and its taxi back to the runway it was taking off from. It had to divert to Schiphol yesterday. Separate video incoming later today. 3 747s have already landed and the Emirates A380 is expected in half an hour or so. Hey Mr. Master, goedemorgen gozer. Happy to see that you are still alive and kicking. Slippery roads yesterday. Rick, of course, my co-host yesterday. It was wonderful, I had a blast, mate. Was really happy to see you again in real life. Always love the banter between us on the live streams. Happy to see that you and Evelyn made it back home safely. Sun Express basking in the sunshine here while it is landing. Returning from Izmir, I think. Izmir in Turkey. Yep. So like I said before, you can cast your vote if you're a member. A new custom emoji slot has become vacant and Chucky has returned as a temporary placeholder until the winner of the vote gets decided and until I have created the new custom emoji. We were close to 800 members yesterday, so who knows, maybe later today I can announce a second slot having become available and 2 custom emojis for the members to pick from. E2 Ember 195 is coming. Listen to the whistle that you will hear once it passes us by. It is a very typical whistle that you will also hear with A220s caused by the geared turbofan engines on board these airplanes. This airplane is returning from Göteborg. Relatively new airplane hailing from the year 2024, the month not specified on flight radar. I'm also happy to see that Air France Flight 1500 is on the glide slope number 2 to arrive, and that's a Bombardier C-Series 300, aka an A220. It has an engine that is related to the engines on board the airplane that you saw just now landing, so you'll hear something similar when it passes by. Chinchulo, good day to you. Joke, goeiemorgen. Hans, goedemorgen. Politiespotter, goedemorgen. Paper Chase asks, is it cold there? Well, if you look in the ticker, you can see that's where the meter is at, and that is a weather report. It's coming again right now, so let me take you guys through it. EHAM, that is AHAM, together with AMS, one of the international abbreviations for Schiphol Airport. Then the date, the 12th. And the time, 9:55 Zulu time, that's 10:55 Central European time, so it's an older meter. I need to update it, I know. The wind, 4 knots from 350 degrees. The wind direction is variable between 320 degrees and 040 degrees. Visibility is 10 kilometers or more, 9999. Few clouds at 2,500 feet, broken clouds at 3,800 feet. The air temperature is 4 degrees C, the dew point is 0 degrees. The air pressure is 1,039 hectopascals and no significant changes are expected in the upcoming 2 hours. That's what it all means. So an hour ago the temperature was 4 degrees Celsius. Air France is coming in next from Paris Charles de Gaulle, flight 1500, Bombardier C-Series 300, that's an A220, being followed by SAS flight 821, which you can already see on the left hand side. That is an A320neo returning from Oslo. Rick says, luckily the roads were okay yesterday evening, so no problems. Yeah, you also had to pick up your girlfriend, you were telling me. Happily that went well, apparently. And indeed, Mark, kudos to Rick for being the co-host yesterday. It was good fun. It always is. That's why I'm always happy to see Rick. Now, I'm also seeing KLM. Oh no, that's outbound. KLM flight 757 going to Panama City, not arriving from. There's an Embraer 190 arriving from Hamburg that is flying downwind. Looks like that is going to be the third airplane, and we might have to wait a few minutes after that because I don't see any traffic coming in immediately. Now Paul, also don't forget to have a look in the community section. I also posted a group picture of the entire ground crew and me yesterday after the stream. Not sure if you saw that already. It was great fun. It was a bit crowded and loud at times, but it definitely was tremendously fun. A220. And that's the same whistle that you heard just now with the E2 Embraer 195 that landed from KLM. The engines are related. Same family of engines. More airplanes are coming. Traffic is slowing down just a little bit. Now stick around because the Emirates A380 is expected, and while we are waiting for SAS flight 821 to get closer by, let's have a quick look on the map and see where exactly it is at right now. Is it in Dutch airspace already? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. And the Orange Pride to Lima is on the move at Schiphol. Emirates is flying in Dutch airspace. It is approaching. Its ETA is now just under 20 minutes. Let's also do a refresh of the weather. We can see the wind is now once again blowing from a bit more to the west than it was earlier. Not much has changed in the meantime. I'm going to paste the weather report in the ticker in a moment, but first let's get back to following the SAS A320neo arriving from Oslo, flight 821. This particular airplane is 5 years old. First flight was in October 2019. And thank you for your kind words, Michael. Great photo of the ground crew from yesterday. Adorable. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, and Yillard says that in 45 minutes from now, the Saudia 787-10 is landing with the new livery with the Red Sea stickers. 45 minutes from now, that is still within the range of only Kagbaan being open for arrivals. That is nice. So that means that it is going to land on the runway we are standing next to as well. See that Frank is also back in the chat. Good day to you, sir. Good to see you again. Well, for the time being, we have to wait a little. The next airplane is flying in the vicinity of Leiden. It is KLM flight 1754. It's an Embraer 190 arriving from Hamburg. That should be somewhere over there, but I'm not sure that we can see it already. It does give me a few moments to update the ticker with the METAR that I copied just now. Joke is asking where I'm standing. I'm standing at the southwestern threshold of the Kagbaan, runway 0624. Pasting the METAR in the ticker, and there we go. Put the heated glove back on and we are back at the camera. Right, so the Embraer we have to wait for. More Embraers and 737s are coming. Gives us a few moments to have a look at the unloading and loading taking place in the cargo area over there. China Southern Cargo now seems to be the airplane where most activity is taking place. Emirates Sky Cargo already loaded. We saw it getting unloaded first. Now they are seemingly ready to go again. Not sure what its estimated time of departure will be, but the hatches are closed. Earlier we saw it being unloaded, then loaded. So it is ready to go. Not sure if this is being unloaded or being loaded. I also see that KLM flight 792 is approaching the coastline. 777-300 arriving from Sao Paulo. Yoke asks if I can see the Orange Pride from over here. I don't see it visually. Also not sure. Oh wait, it is on Flight Radar. I can see it. It is now number 2, seemingly behind Tarom. Ready to. It's queuing up for departure on the center runway. Now I'm going to zoom out again because I'm also seeing that the Embraer 190 from Hamburg is arriving. If you guys could clue me in and use the handle @AMSLive in the chat so that I can see it, or just AMS Live when you write a message, then that my name pops up in red and I can see it. If the Orange Pride is lining up on the center runway, I will point the camera to it so that we can see the departure. For those of you joining us just now, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and we are standing along the Kaagbaan, runway 06, primary runway for arrivals. We're awaiting the Emirates A380, which is already in Dutch airspace and is expected to land on the runway we are standing next to shortly. In the meantime, the Orange Pride is about to fly out on runway center, just as another airplane is approaching. This is an Embraer 190 arriving from Hamburg, KLM flight 1754. The A380 is now in the vicinity of Almere, so it should also start coming this way pretty soon. Maybe we can catch a glimpse of it if it is flying below the clouds, the ceiling. Daan Simworld, goedemiddag. Right. I think that the Orange Pride is about to line up. Looking on Flight Radar. Hey, there's a pushback of a banana. Also interesting to see. DHL A300 600 being pushed back. This shit is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. Looks like it has no nose gear when looking at it from over here. Now, an Embraer 190 arriving from Leeds is approaching behind me. Looks like the Orange Pride is also on the move. I also thought I saw it. Paul, thank you for the heads up. Let's have a look at the PHBVA Orange Pride off to Lima in Peru. Should become visible pretty soon. There it is. Security camera in the foreground. And that's the Orange Pride leaving. Pretty Hopper just now passed us by, landing on runway 06. PHBVA taking off to Lima in Peru. There it is. Triple 300 arriving from Sao Paulo is turning final, being preceded by a Transavia 737 that is arriving from Kittilä. The Orange Pride in the meantime flying away off to Lima in Peru. In the meantime, also back in the chat is Alan, Big Al, and he just now gifted the membership. Mate, thank you so much. Hope that the recipient, I did not see immediately who it was, will say thank you for it. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Don't forget to say thank you to Alan. Also, if you are a new member, don't forget to vote for the new custom emoji that has become available yesterday. We were almost at 800 members already, so a second custom emoji slot might have become available today. There's a poll open that runs until next week Sunday, where you can cast your vote for the slot that has become available. I've placed Chucky as a temporary placeholder in it. Let's quickly turn back. KLM flight 792 is approaching. It is a 777-300 arriving from Sao Paulo. Marissa also back in the chat. Good to see you, Marissa. Hope all is well. Emirates A380 is flying downwind. Flying a bit south of us. Trying to see if I can spot it, while also not trying to lose sight of the 777. No, cannot see it just yet. So let's focus on the business at hand. KLM flight 792. Also, before the chat runs wild and I'm unable to find the message anymore, saw that Mark just now gifted 5 memberships. Mr. Hilton, thank you so much. That is above and beyond. You didn't have to do that, but you did it anyway. Hope that everybody who received the membership from you just now will say thank you for it. Enjoy the custom emojis. Don't forget to vote in the poll for the new custom emoji that has become available since yesterday. Emirates A380. What is it doing? Has it been confirmed for the Kaagbaan? It is turning in for Aalsmeerbaan. Or is it? It looks like it is turning in for Aalsmeerbaan. No! It is. What? Those bastards. I can already see it. You can already see it over there. Those bastards. What are they doing? They're doing a runway. They're going to do a runway inspection over here because the 777-200 arrival from Rio de Janeiro is also continuing. What? The bastards. Mother effers. Maria says, earlier it said confirmed for Kaagbaan. Piotr says, yep, just because AMS Live is broadcasting. Damn it. Achter im Aanvloeg, special livery, Sun Express. Quick glance over there, and then back to the A380, now over there. I'm telling you, you're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy, and this is the live streaming channel Schiphol Group Loves to Hate, It's That Good. LVNL seems to chime in. Indeed, Frank, ATC being bastards in 2025 too. Michael says, who did you piss off at ATC? I don't know. Mate, I wish I knew. I'm blaming Big Al. He's always pissing off people. Bastards. Nonsensical. Well, that is incredibly disappointing. What is going on? Why have they done this? I can see that lights are still on over here on the runway. I don't see any bird controllers on the runway doing an inspection of sorts, so I'm wondering why this is. This is very atypical. Normally speaking, you would have only one runway open for arrivals between 11:40 and 1 o'clock. Paper Chase says, I feel cheated. I feel the same way. This is blasphemy and an insult to us and everybody watching. The A380 has landed safely. I'm wondering if the runway is going to stay open or not. Alan says, it's not me, lol, but there's definitely a conspiracy against you. When I visit, I'll have a word with the twats. Yeah, bring your club, your baseball club with you. Let's have a quick look and see what is going on, because this was definitely not by radar Bezoek bus. Let's have a look. I feel cheated and I'm wondering what is going on here. So, expected runway use. This is the website that indicates the expected runway use for the upcoming hours. It indicates what I thought was going to happen, namely landing on 06 only and center and Polderbaan being used for departures. And then from 1 o'clock onwards, 36 right should also open up. So the reason that it opened up is unclear to me. It shouldn't have happened, so I'm not sure why that is. A refresh of the LVNL website current runway use actually indicates that 06 is the only runway open. Once again, looking, yeah, the lights are on. The runway lights are on. I'm unable to see the approach lights and see if they are still on. It does look like the runway lights are still on, so I'm not sure what is going on here. Let's have a look on flight radar. All the traffic seems to be going to the center runway for the time, 36 right for the time being. Let's have a quick look. Let me also take you through another website, Omgevingsinfo Schiphol. Going to the flight tracking of Casper, accept cookies. We always want cookies. Yeah, continue. So, traffic from the west. Ordinarily, we should see its designated runway. We can already see Aalsmeerbaan. So also traffic over the North Sea now approaching from the west. Normally would go to the Kaagbaan if it were still open. Can we see BA Aalsmeerbaan? Yeah, so what is happening here seemingly is that they're going off the books and are doing something that wasn't anticipated, namely the closure of runway 06. Everything inbound now going to Aalsmeerbaan. Could be that they are cleaning the runway, but then I would have seen somebody on the runway, bird controller, not to be seen anywhere. So I'm thinking maybe we got screwed over and they have closed the runway. BA from London Heathrow also confirmed for Aalsmeerbaan, Marissa says, so it very much looks like a temporary closure of the runway. I wonder why that is. Metar. Yeah, Metar says wind from the west. So if you look at the orientation of the runway we are standing next to, it means that you have 3 knots of crosswind and you have tailwind, actually 5 knots. Might be that that is too much. And in that case, they would have to go to a different configuration. Either use all the north-south runways or start departing from the runway that we are standing next to. No updates on bezoekbus. No updates. Yeah. So once again, at the website where you can see the runway designation for arriving airplanes, for now everything coming in. Aalsmeerbaan. I'm looking here where it is indicating the name of the runway, not the number but the name. Aalsmeerbaan is 36 right. We want to see Kaagbaan, which is 06. This is not an airplane going to Schiphol. And these are all going to Aalsmeerbaan. Yeah, well, unfortunately, I don't know what is going on here. Normally speaking, runway changes only are effectuated at 1 o'clock local time. So does that mean that at 1 o'clock they're going to change the runway use again? Will they do that before then? Just because they need to do something? I still am unable to see any activity of bird control or anything similar taking place here on the runway. Lance says onwards and upwards as the rat trapped at the bottom of a drain pipe said. Yeah. In the meantime, you can see that the Chinese triple is being unloaded. The cargo elevator is going down. Didn't even see you there, Lance. Hope all is well, all things considered. Right, now the question is what to do. Looks like the stream came to a premature end with no traffic coming this way right now. Very annoying. I'm wondering if the lights I'm seeing are the lights are actually the lights. No, those are definitely the lights of this runway over here. You can see them. They're on. These are lights of the runway that are still on. If the runway would be out of commission, it would not, those lights would not be on. They would no longer be on, I should have to say. Bear with me, says meter update question mark. Old one still says 06 in use. Well, do you have updated information? Because LVNL also was saying that 06 is still in use. And bezoekbus was indicating that runway 06 is expected to stay in use until 1 o'clock at least. And for the remaining hours. again. Let's have a look. Okay, now it is updated and it is closed. So, do they have an update? Strange time for them to be closing the runway. Normally they would have a time slot from 11:40 until 1 o'clock. It seems that runway 06 is now closed. If that is the case, there's no use in sticking around here, because the only thing you can see from over here is the cargo being loaded and unloaded. So I think this is an unexpected premature end of the stream. Unfortunately for us, the A380 did not land at the right runway. Luckily for us, 3 747s did. We also saw the C-17. I will make a separate video out of it if you missed it. C-17 Globemaster had to divert to Schiphol Airport yesterday because of fog at its original destination, Eindhoven. It left, it was parked on the south side next to the runway here, and we saw it traverse the runway and take off beautifully. I will make a separate video of that. If you're a new member, don't forget to vote. If you're an old member, don't forget to vote in the poll. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. I had a blast, and I hope you guys did as well. If you liked the stream and you haven't already, consider leaving a like so that more people can find this channel more easily. Mods, thank you for keeping the chat friendly and accessible. Thank you all for the support in the form of likes, subscriptions, gifted memberships and whatnot. You guys rock, and I hope to see you again in the next one, which hopefully will be soon. For now, I'm going to say stay safe, enjoy the rest of your day. Hope to see you all soon. Bye for now, mates.